Alright. Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Happy and Lynn. This game taking place here on Echo Isle. Did I say Terranistan in the title? My apologies. It's Echo Isle, not Terranistan. Over here on the top left-hand side of the map, we have Lynn spawning as the blue human player over here on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy has spawned as the red undead over here on the top right. Human versus undead in this 1v1 matchup. I am expecting to see either an archmage or a mountain king in this matchup here. Death knight most likely, as well, as things are going to be getting underway. Now, what is the overall strategy and implementation that I expect these players to go for? Echo Isle is a limited resource map. I will go ahead and say that once more, point that out. There's only one additional gold mine on each side, so it may come down to a game of resources. On a map like this, even if a human player does set up a fast expansion, if Lynn sets up a fast expansion, undead have often had an easy time just staying even still on one base. By the time the second base does end up getting up and running, human players are often in low upkeep, and because of that, later on in the game, the undead player is then able to just expand and, well, take the game economically. We'll see if that will be the case in this particular matchup. Undead generally is stronger in that early mid game after an expansion. Crypt Fiends, the Obsidian statues, they're able to put a lot of pressure, and on a map like Echo Isle, there seems to be not a lot of places you can run to. Footman now making its way back down here, gonna go ahead and deal some damage to that acolyte, just try to shoo him away. Mountain King is gonna be the hero of choice this time around. Militia now making its way over as well. Mountain King now making its way down, and we'll see if the Mountain King, well, what's gonna be happening there. There is a Stormbolt on to that poor acolyte. It just wanted to do a bit of harassment, and instead gets meet and greeted by a giant hammer to the head. Alright, Mountain King making its way over here. A bolt in a hammer in one hand and an axe in the other. Dual wielding just like Thor, as we're going to see the Renegade Wizard perhaps get taken down here. Death Knight now making its way over here. However, that's going to get taken down. Level 2 now on the Mountain King. We're going to see a Death Coil steal a little bit of that, and now a quick surround. However, the Militia purposely trying to get into harm's, or the Skeletal Minion is trying to get into harm's way. Death Knight is going to be able to slip away up against the wall now, and this is going to be key. Is it going to be able to make its way back out? Let's take a look at this. Death Knight down to 43 hit points. Gonna get taken out. Forest Troll Shadow Priest now finishing off many of those other units as well. Forest Troll Shadow Priest trying to get away. Let's take a look at this, down to 37 hit points, and it is just going to be going for a run, so to speak, as the Skeletal Minions and the Forest Troll Shadow Priest have similar movement speeds. However, well, the Forest Troll Shadow Priest only has to outrun that Skeletal Minion for a couple more seconds. Alright, Skeletal Minion about to get taken down here. Let's take a look at this. Forest Troll Shadow Priest down to 45 hit points. Meanwhile, Mountain King has taken an easy experience advantage. Also, the Death Knight being forced to be resurrected here, and that is precious time lost. That's right, the Death Knight losing all of that precious time for early creeping and trying to get all of that early additional gold as well. Losing your hero early on, even if it's just a level 1 hero that resurrects quickly, you also lose out on the creeping time and the gold that is normally made available to you. Because you end up behind, well, everything just seems to be a little bit slower. If the Mountain King can and probably will get to level 3 before the Death Knight even gets to level 2, well, that's going to be even more problematic. Level 2 Stormbolt does cause some major problems, as you're going to take a look at this Forest Troll Berserker trying to get away. Skeletal Minions now purposely pulling back here. Mountain King making its way across. There's a Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. You're going to take a look. This Crypt Fiend now is just going to 5 seconds of, well, 5 seconds of invulnerability. Mountain King going to be able to chase after it and get another kill there. That down it goes. Meanwhile, the Death Knight really wants to finish off and get some more kills here. Happy not playing all that well right now. He is really behind, and he needs to take these small advantages wherever he can. Getting up to level 2, exactly what he needed right there. Death Knight now going after all of these units and gets surrounded again. He cannot afford to lose a level 2 Death Knight. A level 2 2 Death Knight is going to end up being out of the fight for far too long because of the longer resurrection time. Meanwhile, Peasants trying to head back every which way. It looks like Bash was in fact used to try and finish off. Let's take a look. Skeletal Minion does get a shot and a kill off on another unit there. Forest Troll Shadow Priest could have abolished magic this last Skeletal Minion to save a Peasant, but no such luck. Death Knight now being brought back over as the Peasants are going to try and, nope, unable to build a town hall at all. Not even able to build a scout tower as of yet. These Peasants are trying to run back into the gold mine. What you can do is just tap the wood a little bit, tap that forest, that tree, and then you will switch from carrying lumber to carrying a bag of gold to carrying lumber, and then you can go ahead and jump back into that gold mine. All right, let's take a look at this. Mountain King sitting at level 3. Death Knight does not want to stick around here for far too long. Skeletal Minion's going to easily get finished off here as the Mountain King just slowly going to sit and here and try to get a little bit more mana again. More Skeletal Minions taken down. Mountain King already almost or more than halfway to level 4 now in his progress as the Death Knight forced to back up. All right, let's take a look at what's happening here. Lich is back out onto the field. Happy is in trouble. Halls of the Dead upgrading to tier 3. And this is not looking good for him at all. Obsidian statues, Lich. This is the time when Undead has a small window of opportunity to really make a lot of ground and catch up. However, Happy at this stage is extremely far behind in terms of hero level advantage, and also he was missed out on a large amount of gold through creeping. Meanwhile, the Mountain King makes its way over. Clarity Potion, he's going to be getting up high on mana as well, already up to 181, back into the swing of things, and with that may be able to get into the 225 range, which is 3 Stormbolts. 3 level 2 Stormbolts can easily start finishing off units. Death Knight's going to have a problem. Meanwhile, the tech to tier 2 has not yet begun, and that is going to be key. The Slaughterhouse with those Obsidian statues already out on the field, and with that, Happy has a little bit of an advantage as his units are going to be that much more difficult to kill. Does he have enough units? That is also a follow-up question to have. Death Knight needs to get to level 3 here, and you can see Happy making up that lost ground and that lost time by trying to clear multiple creep camps at once. All right. Kobold's going to get finished off here. Units are just wandering back and forth. As you can take a look, Death Knight wants to get to level 3. More units now making their way over. The Renegade Wizard, well, pretty much out of the fight for so long as the Mountain King now shows up. All right, Mountain King, what is it going to do? Going straight after some of those units. Mountain King comes in with the bash, now running back away. Footmen are also here as well. Let's take a look. Death Knight gets up to level 3. Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. A level 2 Death Coil, however, going to quickly make up any lost ground there. Frost Nova, Death Coil, there you have it. Obsidian Statue, however, could get taken down, and there it goes. The Forest Troll Berserkers and the Forest Troll Shadow Priests doing their job, finishing off a unit. However, the Forest Troll Shadow Priests only have 200 some odd hit points. Death Knight able to easily finish off a unit or two there. Are we going to get an air-mailed long-distance Death Coil? Yes, we are, saving that unit as another Forest Troll Shadow Priest could get taken down. This is the turnaround that I was expecting, and Lin, who was able to play such a solid opening game here, seems to be giving back the advantage that he worked so hard to try and get. Frost Armor also onto these Crypt Fiends, making short work of everything, as Happy does have the supply advantage now. Happy with the supply advantage. What is he going to do? Follow up here. Let's take a look. Mountain King could be in a little bit of trouble. The slow attacks are causing so many issues all around. Meanwhile, Mountain King going to slip back down to 136, trying to get in a little bit more damage, but no Frost Novas mean, well, that Mountain King will be able to get away. Mountain King comes back over. Perhaps the Mountain King trying to play the game as though he was a Blade Master. Nope, gonna be taking far too much damage, and standing next to a Crypt Fiend that has Lightning Shield is also just hazardous to your health. All right, Mountain King able to pull back away again. Let's take a look. Renegade Wizard down to 317 hit points. It looks as though that Mountain King is not going to be coming back. And with that said, the Lich going to get a little bit more experience, get closer to level 3, and pick up a Ring of Regeneration, a useful item for when eventually we are at tier 3, which is right now picking up, well, an Orb of Corruption like this one. Let's take a look back here. Mountain King retreats back. It is going to be able to use a Clarity Potion and a Scroll of Regeneration, pick back up all of those items, and move on out. We are going into Black Powder upgrades. Dual Rifleman, and are we gonna get a Blood Mage? That is the follow-up question that I have. No Blood Mage means that the Mountain King could run out of mana fairly fast. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends are now making their way over. Let's take a look. Crypt Fiend getting some damage in onto this Arcane Tower here. There's some repairs. Mountain King back on the other side, gonna lose a little bit of hit points. And well, these Crypt Fiends able to deal so much damage to this heavy armor tower. Arcane Tower losing a little bit, or using a little bit of that mana again. Mountain King trying to re-engage. More repair coming in as well. Mountain King Stormbolt onto the Lich. Frost Nova onto the Rifleman, and a group of units making retreat difficult. No Paladin, no easy heal, no upkeep once more now for Lin, as the Mountain King may try and, well, throw down a Stormbolt, but that's not going to get anything really going. All right, even with such a strong opening, Lin is not really holding on to any advantage right now. He does have an economic advantage, but you would not have predicted a one-sided early battle as or as much of a lopsided game there. All right, platform notice T. I don't know what that means. Maybe I might get kicked off a little bit later. Hopefully there's enough time to finish this game. Hopefully maintenance doesn't kick me off, as the Lich now making its way on out. All right, Acolytes gonna go ahead and start haunting that gold mine right there. Rifleman with that damage, 19 to 28 damage, piercing damage, and I believe the Rifleman upgrades, the long range upgrade was completed, 57 compared to 49. And the overall economy, though, is fairly even right now. You can see 3 additional, so it's 16 gold a second compared to 14 gold a second between the two, just because of the taxes. But then again, the human does have a much larger army at this stage and point. All right, Lin purposely was cashing up a large amount of gold to blow into low upkeep, as you see right now. And, well, if Happy overestimates his chances, thinking that everything is even, that could be a problem as well. Death Knight, Death Coil saves the Crypt Fiend, siphon mana away from that Lich. There's that second hero that I was expecting for so long. Dark Ranger now shows up to the party. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend again. Death Coil saves once more. And what is this? Just constant healing left and right. Mountain King just having a problem as the Death Knight, well, gets a lot of its mana reduced again. All right, Death Coil saves again, and Death Coil saving so many units out onto the field. However, we are starting to reach critical mass in terms of everything. All right, Lich trying to go after that Blood Mage. Blood Mage now down to 123 hit points. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble, trying to go back the other way. Scroll of Town Portal now transferred back over. Siphon mana into that Mountain King, but the Mountain King himself broke off the chase as the army splits compared to the rest of the units. Going to try to fight back on Blight. Heroes need to come back in from the north, but a bit of regrouping, and the fact that the Mountain King didn't know where if there was a necropolis down over here, didn't want to chase, only to see a Death Knight, Lich, and the rest of the army here ready to go, especially with that Blood Mage who was a bit too far. Siphon mana back into the Mountain King, as we are going now into most likely a Thunderclap Mountain King. Thunderclap Mountain King actually very scary, as the Thunderclap Mountain King dives in and then just claps, causing all sorts of chaos. We should be looking at a Paladin as a third hero as well, though, as the Mountain King generally cannot stick around for far too long. But then again, with the Ring of Protection +3 and a Pure Up to Vitality, over 1100 hit points at level 4. All right, Death Knight now trying to hold back here. There is mana on that unit here. Mountain King is going to come in from the south. There's a Footman here. Let's take a look at this. And there is a tower. There is also a Thunderclap and more damage there. Oh, Acolyte able to stay alive. Let's take a look. Are we going to perhaps see more death? Yes, we are. Abomination could try and engage. Necropolis is retraining up some units as well. This is actually a tough spot for the Mountain King and Blood Mage. Happy knows exactly where his opponent is, and he's actually trapped inside here, as they're going to try and engage. Mountain King says, you know what, if I'm going to stay here, might as well do as much as I possibly can, and I'm going to go ahead and clear out this creep camp, steal as many items and from my opponent, and escape. And basically doing a creep and run, taking a very high level creep camp the opportunity to creep away from his opponent. Beautifully done by Lin, as we now see only a level 1 Dark Ranger, level 3 Lich, level 3 Death Knight. There's only really 2 major creep camps left on the map. And with this one gone, that Dark Ranger will probably be stuck in terms of level for a little while, not being able to get to level 2, let alone level 3 for quite some time. Alright, Blood Mage is at level 2. Mountain King just shy of level 5. Mountain King has not purchased a Scroll of Town Portal, though. That could potentially be scary, as the Mountain King now back up to 300 mana. Alright, this creep camp, however, does not have any units, no casters whatsoever. And with that, it makes it much more difficult for this Mountain King to freely spend all of that mana as well. Let's take a look at this. More units just fighting their way through. Mountain King in that front line, able to just solo that Gargantuan Sea Turtle, takes it down. Mountain King gets up to level 5, picks up, what item is it? It's a Ring of Protection +4, given to the Mountain King, who now has 9 armor. I guess he's swapped the Rings of Protection. But then again, a Mountain King with a +7 armor at total of 12, that's pretty much what you need right now at this point and stage in the game. Alright, a pig not looking oh so well. Meanwhile, it looks as though the Dark Ranger trying to do a bit of... Dark Ranger trying to do a bit of creeping, sitting at level 2, must have done some solo creeping in order to get all of that experience. The Death Knight and the Lich purposely pulling back in order to grant more experience to that Dark Ranger. 3-3-3 going up against a 5-2-1. The Paladin now out onto the field, really going to bolster the health of that Mountain King. Mountain King already at 480 mana. And, well, is Lin going to be able to make some sort of play here? Mountain King at 468, going to try to go after all of these units. Are we going to see a Thunderclap? Yes, we are. Clapping, dealing a lot of damage to a lot of units here. More repairs underway. Crypt Fiends are right there. Mountain King wants to make its way over. Are we going to see a Holy Light on that Rifleman? Mountain King needs to get into that location. Silence perfectly timed. However, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability followed by a clap right there. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Mountain King needs to get back into that position. Do another clap. There you go. So much area effect on the multiple Crypt Fiends. Such a big problem as that Mountain King claps once more. Alright, Death Coil saving that Abomination. Orb of Fire, however, on that Blood Mage, making the healing significantly weaker. Are we going to see another lined up clap right there? And that clap is just dealing so much damage. Mountain King still diving on into this location. Another clap, and so much slow, so much damage. That Paladin is currently silenced. Mountain King currently silenced, but I believe he's going to be ready to go here in just a moment. Takes out another Crypt Fiend as the units are just trying to go every which way. There goes another Crypt Fiend. I believe Happy is just not happy about what he's seen here. He made a good effort to try to get back into this game, but that economic army, him building up that army exactly what he wanted was huge. The problem is the number of dark minions out onto the field, though. Dark Ranger with so much mana, so much dark minions. The Lich should have plenty of mana right now by doing a bunch of dark rituals. Mountain King now making its way over. Is he going to be able to clap all of these units and take them down? Yes, he does. Acolytes are also over here as well. 57 supply compared to 60. There goes a Rifleman as well as the Dark Ranger continuing to pick apart units. All right, more damage being done. There goes another Lich now at level 4. Is more damage going to be had? Happy pushing back the other way. And somehow Happy has taken the supply advantage even after all of that clap. The Dark Rangers just constant influx of units. It was with those skeletal minions was more of a shock than anything else, as the Dark Ranger now making its way back over. All right, let's take a look. 1 or 2 more arrows takes it down. A Dark Minion is out onto the field. Abomination trying to finish off some more units. Rifleman gonna get taken down as well. Skeletal minions are out onto the field, gonna perhaps get some pathing onto another Rifleman there, and that is beautifully done once again. Dark Ranger, Lich, Death Knight up to 4-4-4. Dead for all of you Chinese speakers out there, Level 5, level 3, level 2, all happening here as a Stormbolt now coming back the other way. Death Knight, is there a Death Coil? No. Thunderclap finishing off some more units. I am happy with a much larger army, but Mountain King comes back with a big army as well to try to pick off a unit or two. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Abominations now making their way over. Crypt Fiends now trying to dive on in. What is this Acolyte doing in this front line position? Shouldn't he just be on auto repair for all of these Obsidian statues? That should be the case, as we see now a quick burrow and followed by a clap to try and finish off some of those units. All right, Dark Minion down to 28 hit points. It should get taken down. It does, alongside a level 2 Paladin. Happy still continuing that fight. Siphon mana, Stormbolt, potion or no anti-magic shell to break the Blood Mage's ability, and there you have it. I gotta believe that Happy was able to come back in the end, even though he had less resources. Lin really looked like he was just dealing massive damage with that Mountain King, but somehow, some way, some shape and form, Happy able to trade efficiently, and really the combination of Orb of Corruption and the Dark Ranger's Black Arrows just built up a large army. Also, the fact that Lin used Militia to bring over for that fight may have just added fuel to the fire for those skeletal minions. Now, it's one of those situations where the larger your army is, the more difficult it is to effectively handle that army and get the most out of it. We saw a lot of micro out of that Mountain King, and that's really where my focus was as well. But I gotta believe that Happy was doing may have been doing more micro and doing it just as efficiently, if not more efficiently, to get ahead. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.